Welcome to your first Flow Lab class, and this is building your first simple game. So why choose Flow Lab compared to maybe other game engines out there? But before I answer that, maybe let's see the process of where you are. So let's imagine this is your journey of gaming. Okay, so you probably have a gaming interest, right? So you enjoy playing games and you want to learn more about video games in general, okay? So you then go to an online class, or you might go to college or university. You might gain qualifications. It's entirely up to you. Then once you've done that, you'll probably want to continue your hobby or maybe actually get a career in video gaming. It's entirely up to you how you want to go on this. You might, I don't know what point you are. You're probably at this point here, I imagine. But some of you might already be having this hobby and you want to know a little bit about Flow Labs. What I suggest that Flow Lab does a little bit of an introduction before education because it's very visual. So for myself, I'm a very visual person. I'm a graphic designer. And while I would love to learn how to do code, and I'm sure I will at some point, Flow Lab is a really good introduction because it uses nodes, blocks to connect the code and the functionality together. It's important to note that other game engines like Unity, Unreal, and Godot also have nodes. Okay, so they're also able to add these blocks together. But compared to Flow Lab, it's very more simple. It's very simple compared to the other ones. And also it can be a little bit daunting, okay? So what I suggest is that people who actually want to get into the gaming world and actually make games to use Flow Lab first because, well, if you're not too sure where to start, it's a great step. So let's go through the class overview on what you're going to be learning because I think it's very important that when you take a class that you know what the steps are going to be for your end goal. So this is our simple clicker game. So what we want to do is once we click these targets, okay, it's going to start a timer, and then once it all goes down to 0, we want to play again, okay? So first we're going to create the targets, okay, and once you click them, they're going to get destroyed. We're going to have some instructions for the player, okay? So here it says instructions to play that turns into a timer. This counts the amount of targets there are. We're going to have this make sure that it accounts automatically. So if you want to do other levels, it will do it for you. So you don't have to do it manually. This little thing out here is the brain or the functions of the game. Okay. So this little box here, the little blue box is the gaming window. And then everything outside where it's gray is still in the game, but the player can't see it. Okay. And then this bit here, play again. We want this to appear and have the option for the person to play again afterwards so they can keep on playing the game, see if they can beat their time. We're going to be adding some features to the game once we've done all of this. So we might want to add some loss conditions, or we want to maybe add a different level or anything like that. Quite happy for you to start experimenting at this stage. And then once we've done that, I definitely want you to experiment, okay? So after we've done the features on this bit, I want you to definitely start to expand and add some own features and then share it for the rest of other people to see what you've done. So let's get started. So I recommend that you use the free account on Flow Lab, okay? You can, if you want, get a student account. There will be a link in the class description, and that will take you to a website and it'll just have a bit more of a rundown on how that works. But if I'm completely honest, you could just create a free account on Flow Lab. Again, just click on the link to see how to actually do that. We're only going to be creating 4 objects. You get a maximum of 50 if you get a free account. We're going to be creating 3 levels. You get a maximum of 5 on the free account. And because it's a single game, so first game, it's going to be 1. For a free account, you only get a maximum of 3. You can delete them, and then obviously that goes down. Levels and objects don't transfer into different games, okay? So you can have a maximum of 50 for each game, And again, for levels, you can have a maximum of 5 for each game. But the game is the only one where, obviously, if you create 3 games, that's it, you can't create more. You have to delete 1. So with that being said, let's get started. So when you log into FlowLab, you will see your profile and stuff. Just click on My Games if you don't look. It's not going to look exactly like this, especially if you don't have the student account. So click on My Games, and you'll come to something like this. We have New Game, green button there, and you'll see our sample clicker game. We're going to have a quick look at that and see how that functions, and then we're going to go and start making it. Okay, so let's click on it. And there you go. So you've got click the targets. This is going to change to a timer. That's the amount of targets that we've got there, which is 9. And then we're going to play and see how it repeats. Okay, so click on it. Little sound plays. Timer goes down. There you go. And then play again. Click on that. Play again. What was it? 160 I got. So let's try see if I can beat 160. There you go, 83, yeah? So really, really simple game, okay? It's always better to start off slow, and then obviously we build up, and then we can add more complexity, okay? So let's go to My Games. Click on New Game. You'll come up to a screen like this. You want to click on Empty Project. Sometimes you'll get another screen that comes up here that just sort of tells you the FlowLab updates and everything, but ignore that for now. Oh, if it comes up, just press OK. So, empty project, go OK. And so this is your window. This is your window of what you're going to be, the player's going to see. Okay, so everything outside the player's not going to see. Okay, because we're going to be putting some brains or the functions into the actual game, and then some stuff in the actual window itself. So, if we go to game levels here, you'll see it says level 1. And you'll also maybe, if you've got a free account, says like 4 out of 5 or some sort of number here, because you're only limited to how many levels. But we're only going to really be making, say, 2 or 3 levels in this game, so we don't have to worry about that. Click on the white square. And what I want you to do is select a color, okay? So select any color on the outside first, and then the inside. This is your color previously and what it's currently at, okay? So at the moment it's white. So we're going to click on, say, let's do a purple one or pinky one. And click on there. See how it's current and then what it's going to change to. Okay, so click OK. There you go. So you've got that thing there. And if you click on play here, this is actually how you would play the game. There's a little test feature within FlowLab, which I'm going to show you in a moment. But if you actually want to play the game as other people will play it, then you can click on that. You've got details, theme and cover. We're not going to be worried about that this time. We'll probably be focusing on the other lessons. But for now, let's go back into editor. And let's go to settings, okay? So we can change the game title to whatever you want. We're just going to call it clicker and call it whatever you want. You've got your gravity and your drag and everything else. Again, let's ignore that. You also got the width and height. And again, like I said, this is your window of what the player is going to see. So we can actually drag that or decrease it depending on the type of game you want, okay? So again, just put it back to 16:12, okay? So it's obviously just useful to know when you start making experimenting. So click OK. Right, let's actually add some elements. Okay, so we're going to be adding some boxes or some targets. Okay, so left click, you'll see create or cancel. Let's click create, and you come up to this little box here. Now this box is very important. You've got some parents, display order. That's going to be important for potentially other classes. For this one, we don't have to worry about that. Multiplayer, obviously, we don't have to worry about it. Physics, we don't need to worry about, and this is just restart on level, so the objects won't persist throughout the different levels. These are the 2 most important things that we're going to be focused on at the moment now. So object 1 is how many times this object is in the world. So we can clone objects, and it will have the same type, but this will change. So it'll be object 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and so on every time you clone it. It's really important to always name your type. Okay, so we're going to call this target. All right. There's no need to change the name of the object, but you can for more complex games. All right. But for now, we're just going to worry about type. You must change the type because honestly, you'll just get really confused. Even on a simple game like this, you go like, "Oh, why is my game not working?" It's because it's selecting something else or whatnot. So anyway, once you've done that, you want to click on Edit Sprites. You come to a box like this. This is where you can actually start designing your sprites and stuff. So if I click a color up here or whatever, let's do a red. I could do a little smiley face if I want to, and that would be the actual sprite itself. And you can see on the top left-hand corner here, that's what that sprite's going to look like. Again, we're not going to focus too much on this, but you can upload, you can download the images, undo, whatever. I just encourage you to experiment after this class. For now, we're going to click on Browse. These are all the different sprites that are in your current game. And we're going to click on Menu. And again, because I've got the teacher account, I'm going to have a lot more options. But we're going to go with everything that all accounts will have, which is the Flow Lab sprites. We're going to click on Objects. And then we're going to click on something here. It's entirely you what you want to click on. I'm going to go for a box. Okay, so click on box, it will come up there. All right. Once you've done that, click OK. Click OK again. There you go, you've got your box, and you can click and drag that around. If I click on play, you'll see doesn't really do anything, especially if I click on it, because I haven't added any code or any behaviors to it. It's also not very nice with the purple or pinky purple with the box. So I'm going to change that, make it a little bit better. So let's go back into that. Going to say maybe a nice blue. If that stands out there, that stands out a bit better. Right, let's put some functionality into this game, okay? So we're going to click on your box. You're going to click on Edit, okay? Go to Behaviors. And then this is where all our functionality is. We've got triggers, we've got logic and math, components, properties, text and lists, GUI, game flow, mobile data, multiplayer, and behavior bundles, okay? Behavior bundles is really useful for very simple code that the developers or the people who've made this website have done, so you don't have to recode stuff. It's always best, especially when you started out, to do your own and you don't really know what's in here. But for now, we're going to be doing everything from scratch. So what do we want to do? Let's think about it. So we want to click the box and we want it to disappear, right? So the first thing is going to be a trigger. So mouse click. So click on that and you'll see these little you've got down, up, over and out, and the little nodes, the little dots connecting to it. And then what you can do is once you connect two different dots together, you can just click and drag, okay? You can't connect it to yourself. Sometimes you can, and there'll be times when we do that, but for this instance you can't. And you can't accidentally do that, okay? So what? So mouse click down, that's when it activates. Mouse click up, as in when you release the click on over the object. The mouse is over the object and the mouse goes outside of the object. Each one of these will activate the lines when we connect them. So what did I say? When we mouse click down, we want to delete this object. We want to delete the box. So let's go to Components, go to Destroyer, because we want it to be destroyed, okay? And like I said, node to node, okay? So dot to dot, okay? So down goes to Destroy, goes green. There you go. You'll see it's there. If you make a mistake accidentally, you can hover over the line and click on it. It goes red, okay? So blue goes green. There you go. And we can actually see this work, which is really, really nice. So instead of going out of the game into that play area, we can actually do it right here. So if we go down here to the left-hand corner, click on play, see how it all sort of becomes a little bit brighter. It's not grayed out. Click on the box and you'll see this activate. See, mouse was down, destroy, and it destroyed it, okay? Press stop. There you go. So you got the first element of our game sorted. Right, let's press OK. And let's make it a little bit exciting because we've only got one object there. We want to clone this. And we don't have to then do the code for each object because we're going to be cloning. So click on it, click on clone. We're going to do 8 objects altogether. So we want 2 sets of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we do 1, 2, 3, 4 again. Okay, done cloning. Remember, if you accidentally click twice, I'm going to click on twice here for you, just an example. See, it doesn't really show. You have to be careful if you do that. You can actually just click the object and click delete. Okay, so just make sure you don't overlap because you'll go, well, why is my box just not disappearing? It has disappeared. It's just that it's layered, so the bottom box is showing. So we can actually play our game now. Click on play. And there you go. You've got our boxes that delete, all right? Because we've done the code and we've cloned it. What else did we need to do? We needed to put some sound to it. So let's do that. So go on to the object, go to edit, go back to behaviors. We need to now go to put some sound. So let's go to components, click the sound option. The little node appears. And then let's put that under there. Go down to play. So it goes green. And then that's connected. Now it's important, if I click on this box and I drag it, it will drag everything. If I click on this one, it only drag this bit here. It only drags everything that's connected to it from the left-hand side. If I want to click on this and I want to just move it by itself, I hold down Shift and then I can drag this independently. Okay, I'm holding down Shift currently. Release Shift and then I can drag it if I want to drag everything. Make sure you do this neat. Again, because it's all node base, as well it's nice, it can get a little bit messy, just like normal code. So just try to position things that go like, okay, it's not going to confuse me further down the line. Anyway, sound effects. We've connected that up so it hits play, so down to play. We can also have down to stop, but we want it to stop. Certain music's volume is obviously speaks for itself if you want something to be lighter and lower. And also you've got outputs as well. So once this plays, stuff will come out here. Again, we don't have to worry about this for this session. So let's click on the actual box itself. We can upload our own music, but we're going to be choosing sounds. So we're going to choose sounds. We're going to go to effects. Okay. And again, depending on the account that you have, you might not have these many options. You definitely won't be able to go into premium. But I think like a simple click one is really simple. It's entirely up to you which one you want. All I would say is don't pick something that's too long, okay? So let's have something that's going to be potentially annoying, just so I can show you. That one. I can imagine, even though it's short, you click on that a few times, that's potentially going to be annoying. Especially if you do something too long, like music. There's little musics here. What's it? Fantasy. Yeah, you don't want that every time when you click a box. So just short and simple, okay? So let's go back into click, and I'm just going to click on that. Actually, that sounds pretty good. So that sounds like a box collapsing. So click on OK, and there you go. You've got that there. And now I'll just drag this across. I'm just clicking anywhere that's space, and then I can just drag and move it around. I could also use the scroll wheel to go in and out. So I'm just doing that there. I'm going to click on play. And now, a little bit annoying, but again, it's just, it's up to you, right? For me, that's fine. Right, we've got the boxes all set up. Let's actually set up a timer. So like I said before, anything within this box here is going to be the player's view, and everything outside isn't. So we're going to start doing some functionality to make the game work the way that we want. We're going to be putting the brain in the game, so to speak. So we're going to click somewhere here. We're going to click on create, and we're going to call this control. Now, you don't need to do the spriteness because no one's ever going to see it. But I always think it's quite nice just because, well, it's when you want to go back into the game. I always think it's quite nice if you want to go back into the game and do some changes or edits. You go, well, what's this square here? But if you make it something a bit more obvious, then you'll roughly know what it is. So let's go back into sprites. You can go into objects, and then you can choose something here like a lock. I think it's quite nice. But if you do have a paid account, if you click on this one here, you can click on what's it? So the maths. Let's see what's there. You've got little question marks and stuff like that. Explanation mark. Got some symbols, which is quite nice. Let's use a symbol. Again, it doesn't really matter. You can choose whatever item you want. You can upload your own. Okay, so let's click OK. So we call this one control. Okay, again, this is just going to be controlling elements of our game. Right, so let's go into behaviors. Let's start putting some stuff in. Let's start doing a timer because that's really important. So let's go to GUI, okay, and let's put label in. Let's click on that label. There you go. Let's have that label there, and then let's call this what's this? Click box to start. Okay. You can choose whatever font you want. Again, it really depends on the color that you've chosen and stuff like that. But I always recommend, especially for this game, click on the center so it's center aligned. When it starts to change, you can obviously change the font sign, the font, and the color. I'm going to make my one black here. So I'm going to click on black, click OK. Now, anytime when you click on the label, when you create a new label, it's going to put the text in this corner here. Okay. So in order to change that, go back out into your main area, click on the box to see highlights, and I want you to just move the box over here, okay? Move that text over here, I mean. So you've got that bit there. Let's go back into your control, and let's start putting some things together. Right, so we want, when the player clicks on a block, or a box or whatever you've got, we want it to start the timer. So we want mouse click down, okay? And then we want a timer to start like ticking over, don't we? So let's do that. So mouse down to start. It will do manual start then, and then it's just going to add to a value, okay? So let's see what happens here. We also want it to capture clicks anywhere, because if we don't, it's going to only activate when we click on control. And because it's outside of the window, players are never going to be doing it. So we need to capture clicks anywhere. Also, we want this, if you click on this little timer node here, we want to make sure that this repeats forever. Okay, so we don't want it to stop. We want it to continuously play. And also, the timer is a little bit too long. So let's make that 0.1. Okay. Let's click on OK. And then out goes to value because we want to change the value. Now we click on play. So it only does one. So it's only outputting one because it's only activating once. So we need to change that, right? We want that to keep on counting up. So we need to put something else in between there. So let's delete this line. And then let's put logic and maths in. Let's put a number in. And this time we want to add that one each time into itself continuously. So we do that by putting the plus sign. So out goes to plus. Now it's going to be adding that one each time. And it's going to be adding one to the value. Now if we do it, click on play. See how the timer goes on. But there's no way to stop it, and that's what we're going to be doing next. All the boxes are clicked. We want it to stop the timer. So we need to wait for the boxes to communicate to control. So let's do that. So let's go back into your main area here and click on the box. Any box will do because remember, they're clones of each other, so they're all the same. Click on any box, click on edit, click on behaviors. And when it destroys, we want it to send something to this control. We want to send it a message, and we're going to scroll in so it's a little bit easier to see. And then it's going to count it in control. So let's go to components. We want it to send a message. Okay, so let's click on message. Click on that, it says hello. I'm just going to go out to send, okay, just so it's all ready. I'm going to drag that like that. Right, I'm going to click on this. Now, you can have any message you want. It is case sensitive, so it's important that if you put a capital at the front or anything, it duplicates at the other end. But this one, I'm just going to go target die. You could have anything you want. It really doesn't matter. To make it easy, maybe just have die. It just dies, okay? Because it's destroyed. Or you could put destroy. It's entirely up to you. Now you have a bunch of options here. You can set it to yourself, send it to last contacted objects and stuff like that. We're going to ignore all of those apart from this one here. Choose object to send it to. Click on that. You can probably see where we're going from here. Select the type. Remember, it's important to name things because if I click on this, we've only got 2. But if you can imagine, if you're making a more complex game, you're going to have a long list here. So you want to make sure you name it correctly. So we want to send it to control. And then any object, it's obviously, we already got one of the objects here. It's object 11. We don't have to do that. So we just do any object. And then that's it there. So if I click on OK now, well, if I click on play, actually, I can show you. So do you see activated? I clicked on down, destroyed itself, and it also sent the message die to control. So let's actually have a way to receive it. So let's go back into your main area here and go into edit for your controller behaviors. And then we want in triggers, we want mailbox. Okay. And it's got hello. Oh, what did we put? We put die, or I put die. You can put whatever you want. Lowercase d. And I've got that there. Right. So that comes in. And basically we want it to do a set of things where we've got the number of boxes. We've got 8. Once we want it to get rid of that number to its 0. So let's do that. So let's do 2 numbers, 1, 2. Let's put them in sequence of each other. And this one is going to be our number of boxes. We're going to have it detect the number of boxes so that you can sort of dynamically change it for extra levels that you want to do. But for now, we're just going to do it manually. Okay, so there's 8, so let's click on 8. Yeah. And for this one, we want a -1, okay? Because remember, we want to get rid of this number until it's 0 for it to stop, okay? So out goes to now get, because we want to get -1. We don't want to add to it. If we do plus, it's going to add to this number, so we don't want to do that. We want to do -1. And then out gets to plus, okay? So it's -1 to this number here, and then that's going to output. And I can show you how that works. So if I just move this up here, and now if I click on play, you should see 8 disappear, or go down. So 7, 6, 5. There you go. So we've got a way for it to go down to 0, but there's no way for it to reset yet. So we need to have some sort of if statement, a filter, as it were, to when this goes to 0, we want it to stop the timer. And because we're on logic and bash already, there's a filter thing here. Let's put this in. So value will be the number here, and then in just goes into the actual box. We don't have to worry about value, we just have to worry about in. So 8 goes to in, this out goes to in here. I'm going to move this down here just so it's a little bit easier. And then I'm going to click on the filter, and then it's already got 0 there, so we don't have to change that. And then we're going to have equal to 0. Okay, equal to 0. So when this is 0, it's going to pass this little test. Okay, and then it's going to pass it, and then I'm going to go reset. So it will just stop the timer. Okay, so start reset, as in it resets it back to nothing, and then delay is, you know, if you want to stop the timer for whatever reason, and then it will start up again. But we're going to just do that. Okay, so hopefully you can see the path there. And again, if I move this to the side here, we can see it working. So goes in 7. It hasn't passed yet to 0. Oh. Now the minute it goes to 0, this should activate and it will stop. There you go. See how activated and everything stopped, which is all really good. Okay. So there you go. We've got a way to stop our little timer. And if you click on the main thing there, you can see it play. You can see it started to take shape. The basics of our game, but we want to add some extra little things here. Now, I did say at the start that we're going to be able to count these boxes, but we just put this manually, didn't we? We put that there as 8. So let's have a way for it to count itself. So let's go back into the behaviors of control. Okay, and we're going to do this backwards this time. So we're going to go to mailbox. Yeah. And this, we're going to have a mailbox. We're going to count that to the number here that says plus. Yeah. But this time we're going to have this as 0. Okay. We're going to have it like that. You could have a number in between and then have it to set, but just for making things easier, we're going to do it like this. For the mailbox, we're going to have this as count, okay? Count lowercase c, and then that's what's going to happen. So we're going to put the triggers or those messages for these boxes, and each one of those is going to send a number, which is 1, to this mailbox, and then it will come out, and that will be 8, okay? We're also going to have a way to count this as well, so let's do that. So let's go to GUI. Let's do another label. Yeah, I'm going to put that over here. Out goes to value, so we can actually track it. That can go to 0 because it doesn't really matter because it's going to count it automatically. Let's do center. Let's make this, I don't know, a red. Go okay. Let's position it nicely. Here, maybe move this up a little bit like that. And then let's do the triggers for the boxes. So again, any box, it doesn't matter. And remember, it's going to happen for each one of these boxes, okay? So we don't have to do it for each one. But it's going to be, it's going to happen 8 times because they're clones, okay? So they still exist in the gaming world. So into triggers, we're going to click on the thing that says once. What does once do? Once happens each time that this sprite or object is created in the game when the game loads that level, okay? There's obviously other things like always. This is always activated every frame. If you hover over it, activates once, okay? So what we want it to do, when the game loads, we want to count itself and send that count to control. So let's do that. So let's go to messages, go to send, click on out to send like that. Call this count. Remember, that's what we did before. Objects to send it to, click control. Any object is fine. And then, if I move this over here, click on play. See, it says 8 because this sent to count, to control, and it counted 8. If I actually show you in control, you'll see it work a little bit better, okay? It happens instantly, okay? So this is still going to have a 1, but just keep in mind that it does happen 8 times, okay? So click on play. That activates, counts it each time to 1, goes to 8, and then we can actually play because we've still got this equal to 0. So we can do that. Okay, and there you go. So we've got that bit there. Now we've got a bit of an issue because if we click again, it starts a timer again. We don't really want that. We want that to be able to stop. So we want this to break its line after we've clicked it once. So let's do that, okay? So mouse click to timer. We want to get rid of this line for now. Move this back a little bit. And we're going to have a switch, okay? So just like a switch in your house, okay? Electricity is always coming to your switch for your room or whatever, but your light only turns on when we actually turn it on. So let's do that. So out goes to in, so down goes to in, down goes to in, and then out goes to start. So just like what we had before, and the switch is currently turned off because it's not on. The little light is not on, so let's make sure it's on because we want it to be on at the start, okay? And then what we want it to do is we want it to turn itself off. So out just goes right round to off, and you'll see it there. So what happens? Line comes in, clicks down, goes out, but then it's also going to turn itself off at the same time. So if I just show you, click on play, see 8 activates that way. Click on it, and you'll see this turn off. Turns itself off, okay? So click on each one of these, and you'll see it's trying to go in to start the timer each time, but it won't let you. And then I click on that. This is going to activate, stop the timer. Stops the timer, and as much as I click, it can't turn itself back on because there's nothing on the node, little dot here that says on, so we can't do that. Again, depending on the type of game that you make or whatnot, you might want to have that feature for your game. For this one, we don't want that. Okay, so we're going to leave that one there. And then we can actually play the game for this bit. There you are. Cool. There you go. And I can't start the timer. all the elements of our clicking game there. Now what we could do is we can move these about a bit. We can add more blocks if we want to make it a little bit more difficult for the player. Move that like that. Let's add a few more there. And remember, because we've done cloning, we've done all the coding, it's going to add that number there so we don't have to keep on doing each bit. So let's move these like that. So I've got 12 this time. And we just want to have a little thing where, put it like that, just makes it a little bit neater. Let's have a little thing where once it's you're done, we're going to have a thing where it can play again, okay? So the bottom down here, within the box, we need to click create, and I just want you to call this type play again, okay? Again, it doesn't matter what sprites you do. You can upload your own, you can create your own, but for argument's sake, there's a really nice feature on the students one and the teacher one, because they're exactly the same. I'm going to click on arrows. I'm going to click on this little, where is it? This little replay button. But I can change whatever one. If I want to, I can go back into the sprites here. I can click on objects and I can have like a key or whatnot. It really doesn't matter. Okay. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to put that. I want that to appear maybe in the corner here like that. So that'd be quite nice. And then have edit behaviors. Go to GUI. Label. And have play, let's do capital P, play again. Going to have that centered. I'm going to make this, make it black, or make it, or maybe a blue, dark blue. See how that looks like. Again, I have to go out. It's probably going to be a little bit too big. Yeah, and let's make that a little bit smaller. So let's go back into behaviors. Let's change the font size to, I don't know, 7. It's quite nice. Let's position it correctly. Go into the actual play to see if you're happy. Yeah, I'm okay with that. That's fine. Right. So we don't want this to be activated all the time. And we want it to only appear when it goes down to 0. So let's do some of the elements first. First, we want to be able to click on the arrow and it restarts the game. So let's do that first. So click on edit, play again, behaviors. We've just got the label here. So we just want mouse down and restart this game, restart this level. Okay, so game flow. So you've got pause game, load game, restart game, or whatnot. We're going to go load level. Okay. Click on down to go. And I'm just going to go restart current. And the reason I do restart current instead of level 1 is because if I want to make new levels on this and I want to make it a little bit difficult, again, this will be dynamic enough that it will only reset that current level. Okay, so let's do that. Restart current. Click OK. And now if I click somewhere and I go, oh, I made a mistake, I can click on this and it'll restart the current. But again, we don't want this to appear. We only want this to appear when this goes to 0, once we've got, when that goes to 0 and it starts the timer. Okay, so what do we want to do here? Go back into its behaviors. Okay, we want to have a once node, a few things here. Put that up here. And we also want to go to properties. Now, alpha is how transparent something is, okay? So 100 is it's visible and 0 it's not, okay? So let's go to logic and mass. It gets a number. So what are we going to do? So once the game is created, it's going to get 0, okay? And it's going to put the alpha for the text and also alpha for this percentage here. And if I click on play, see how it disappears. It's still there, but players don't know that, okay? So that's a little bug. And maybe you can try to work out a way how to solve that. But for now, let's just leave it there because we'll have to spawn things in and whatnot. All right? So we've got that there. We also want to have a message where this is now 100. And then out goes to alpha and out goes to percentage. But we don't have anything coming in. So again, we just need a mailbox. Do it back to front. Let's go to get. Let's call this visible, or show. Maybe that's a little bit easier. So it shows a text. Okay. Click on OK. And you can probably guess how we're going to be doing this because we've repeated it a few times now. We're going to go back into Edit, Behaviors. And we've already got a filter that does the calculation for us. So we don't really need to make another one. So all we have to do is go to Components, Message, Pass goes to Send. I'm going to move that over there. What do we call it? Show, didn't we? Show. We're going to send the object to play again. Okay. And once it hits 0, it's going to stop the timer, and it's also going to send the message show to the play again thing. So we click on this bit here just to show you how it works. So play, disactivates, gets number 1, puts alpha for the text and alpha for the actual object, the sprite. If I didn't have this bit connected, the objects would disappear, but the text would still appear here. So that would disappear, this would still appear. So let's make this 0 now, and then you'll see disactivate to show it. So and there you go, you've got play again. And then the final thing we want to do is let's add some sound. Let's add some like music. So again, how we did it, filter, we've already got it activated. Let's go to components and sound. Put that over here. Pass goes to play. Choose the sound. Go to effects. Go to what should we have? That's good. Success. Sounds good. That's fine. Let's have that one. So click OK. So once it passes, it's going to do success. Let's try that. Actually, let's do it in the main thing because we've got the main basics of our game here. There you go, 155 and 0. Now you don't have to have that 0 there. You don't have to have that number there. You can have that outside. But it's just a good indication to show you how many boxes you have to click. Click on play again. You can do that. Now you can start to think how to add these elements together to make it a little bit more interesting. Maybe when the game first starts, you want it to play a sound. So we can do that. We can put that into control. Once the game starts, or once this is created here, we can go to components. We can have it play. Let's have it play some music, for example. Let's go to loops. Again, depending on the type of account you have, you might not have some of these. You should have them, but again, I've just had to teach one for a while, so you should be fine. Again, you can upload your own. Let's have that. It's a bit loud, so I'm going to reduce the volume down to say, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe 2. Okay, let's do that. And now, when I hit play, plays the sound. And then it'll restart because it's restarting that current game I get asked is, how do I make multiple levels? Okay, so let's do that. So we've got here play again, but let's change this. Let's change this to next level, okay? So instead of play again, we got next level. Okay, go okay. And then restart current, we haven't actually made yet, so we need to go back out, go to game levels, click on new level. It's going to have new level here. And we're just going to call this level 2. And again, we could change the color for this. We could make this one red, for example, if we want to, okay? And to load the actual level, we need to click on load. But before we do that, we're just going to make sure that next level is chosen here in this load level. So we've got restart current. So we can have go to next one, previous one, use the input value, level 1, level 2. And that's the one that we want, level 2. So click OK. And also the sprite isn't probably that suitable, so let's change that as well. Let's go to menu. And again, you can change this to which one you want. Let's do that one there like that. Okay, so next level. Move that like that. That. So when it goes to 0, it's going to go to next level, which is this one here. Okay, so there's nothing here at the moment, but we've got our little library here. We haven't actually gone through this one. So click on library, and all the elements, all the objects that you have for that game will appear here. For a free account, you will have I think up to 50, but for this one it'd be absolutely fine. Unlimited for students and teachers, and also if you get an indie one. So what do we want? We want the target. So click on target, click on add to level, and it will already do the cloning. So make sure you don't double click. So let's do 3 objects here. Okay, once you've done, do done cloning. And click on library again, click on control, click on add level. Let's put it outside the box here. You'll see the box to start and stuff like that. Click box to start. The box and the color isn't very good, so maybe we'll change this color to something else. Let's try yellow, see what that's like. That's okay. So click OK. And now if I click play, and you'll see the sound play, see how it's already done. We don't have to do anything because we've already done the code for it, okay? Which is really good. And again, we can do play again for next level. Click on that, put that there, for example. And instead of choosing level 2, we can just do next level, for example, and it will just continuously go to next level and be dynamic enough to go to the next level. So click on play. Won't click because there's nothing to go around, right? Because there's no more next level after this. Okay, so if I do this one, you'll see how it's next level. It will go to level 2. Click on next level. And then we've got that one. Next level, but obviously we haven't created it. So you just have to think of each stage. Remember to have some sort of plan when you create more complex games. Let's make another level now, but we're going to have this one called Loss. So we go new level. Okay, we're going to call this one Loss. Or Die. It's like the end one. We're definitely going to make this one red. So let's make that one red there. Click on OK. Load the level. Okay. And again, let's create a sprite. We're going to call this one, because we used to have a play again button, we're just going to have this one restart. So restart. So this is going to be the restart game. So restart game. Okay, so go to edit sprite. Again, it doesn't matter which one you choose. I'm going to click on these arrows because it's there. Why not? And then I'm going to put some behaviors in this. So click on down. And then we want this one, game flow, to now restart the game. So it's going to restart the entire game if you lose. It's not going to just restart the current one. It's going to restart the whole thing. So we don't want the players, or the player doesn't want to get to this level. So down goes to go. Okay, so click on that. And restart the whole game. Okay, and we could put a bit of text there, like, well, what we want to do is we want the timer to get to a certain point, and if it's too high, the player will lose, right? Because there's no like loss condition. So we're going to have something like too slow. So let's go to GUI, labels, and then you are too slow. Something like that. Let's make that white. Again, center. It's entirely up to you how you do it. Have that like that. So you are too slow. Click on that, and it will change it. So let's actually set that up. So if we actually play this game, what number do I get? So I get 177. Okay. Let's say if I do 200 or more, I've gone too slow and I need to change it. I need to go to that loss level. So let's go here. So go to edit, go to behaviors. And as we've got a filter here, we're going to have a filter down here. Okay. So it'll go down here and then activate. So logic and maths, go to filter. Put that down here. Out is going to go to in, right? Let's move that across over here. Hold it down shift to move individual ones if I want to, or if I want to do the whole thing, I don't hold down shift. So what did I say? 200. Let's make this 200 for start. So 200. And then we could have greater than 200, equal to 200. I would say greater than 200, or greater than or equal to 200. So if it's 200 or more, this will activate. This will pass the test, and it will go to this level. So go to game flow, load level, click on go, like that. Just like we did before, pick level, and this one we definitely want to do loss. So click OK. Now if I go back to the game, click on a box, and I'm too slow clicking on these boxes, the minute it goes to 200, too slow, I have to restart the game. That means I have to be quicker to go to the next level.